What is up, everyone, and welcome back to our second episode of the Philly Dogs podcast. I'm John.
What's up, Peter? Let's go. What's
That's
up?
Peter.
Yup.
Jumping right into things today, we're gonna go from the Super Bowl recap, everything that happened in that game, crazy game,
Yeah.
to the Eagles, to the Sixers, and to the Phillies. So just stay tuned, and we got some good stuff for you guys today. So uh, here goes nothing. For our first segment today, we're gonna be talking about the Super Bowl recap. Score was 25-22. Peter almost nailed it on the head. He was 24-21.
I was close. I
Very
was
close. I said 27-21, but we both had the Chiefs. And in a game that did not look like it was going the Chiefs' way for a very long time, um, you know, Pat Mahomes is Pat Mahomes, and he does what he did what he I don't know how to really word this.
He
Did
did
what
what he
he
does.
Yeah, he did what he does. Pat Mahomes is Pat Mahomes for a reason.
Yup.
Uh, Even when he gave everyone a reason to doubt him, down 10-0, turned the ball over. He he's got that it factor, and there's nothing you could do to really stop him or slow him down for the entire game. You can slow him down for a time being, but really when it comes down to it, you can't stop him. And now the Chiefs are back-to-back champions, and everyone can raise their arms, all their Eagles fans out there.
Yeah.
Uh, no Brock Purdy holding up the trophy, no Niners holding up the trophy. Man, I was telling my other friend it should be a holiday. And I was telling you, Peter,
Facts.
I was actually celebrating like the Eagles won the championship. Anyone who was with me can vouch me on that. I was celebrating like we won the championship, which it basically felt like that. But how would you evaluate the game? Was it a good game? Was it a bad game? How would you
Uh,
say?
so I have like a weird perspective because I was watching it with Chiefs fans. Because my girlfriend's a Chiefs fan, so I was watching it with her family. And like the beginning of the game was really boring, but it was like I was watching with them and they're like big fans. So like it didn't feel as boring as if I was like just watching it by myself. But I thought the first half was so boring. It was a great game though. I mean, overall, but the first half was the defense was fantastic. I mean, the Niners defense looked amazing. But I mean, if you look at it, the the Chiefs have been down in all the Super Bowls. I'm pretty sure
Yep.
they've been down 10 plus points in three of the Super Bowls.
Yeah, they
So
have.
that's kind of just their MO, I feel like, at this point. And really it came down to Mahomes just got it done at the end. And the Chiefs corners, I think, were really the unsung heroes of the game. I think the Chiefs corners were easily the best part of the game.
Obviously Snead, but McDuffie too, dude. I didn't realize how good McDuffie was in man-to-man
McDuffie was
coverage.
insane.
Yeah,
McDuffie was so
Debo.
good. He had I have it up here. I want to see how many pass deflections he had.
They had
Um
3?
yeah, he had three pass
Yeah.
deflections in one game, which is
The
crazy.
one in the end zone, all the Niners fans were like PI, PI, and I don't like that was amazing defense. Like he actually had Debo in a box.
Yeah, I mean, he was so good. And I feel like the biggest thing is a lot of times it's hard to see, like it's really noticeable to see when corners are like too physical
Yeah,
to where it's obvious that it's PI, but it felt like every single time they had a jump ball, the Chiefs corner like Snead and McDuffie were both on the money.
yeah.
They were perfectly physical. They were on the ball, like it was great. And they sent him off the edge.
I
Like
know. I
he
did
he
see
had
that.
two QB hits too. I mean, he
He's
was
a
great.
very versatile corner in the fact that it's not like a one-sided where you can play really good man coverage and you lack in the run game.
Yeah.
McDuffie's a stud, and he's gonna get paid when his contract's up in a few years. He's gonna get paid. Like
So is Snead. Snead's about to
Snead's
get
gonna,
paid this
yeah, Snead's
offseason.
about to get paid too. I mean, they better pay him. If they don't, then that's so dumb. But
Yeah.
they have a young and they have a great defense that
Yeah.
is going to be here for years. Like I can see that team winning another 2, 3 titles in the next 5, 6 years.
I mean, I
Um,
like the Chiefs, but I hope not.
I hope not, but I can
Honestly.
100% see it. Uh,
Yeah. I mean, if to me, I feel like another story of the game was how like I feel like the game plan for the Chiefs going in was the way to beat the Niners is to be able to run the ball on them. But the Niners were really, really good at stopping their run. I mean, Pacheco was 18 for 59,
yeah,
um,
that's not good.
which is not great. I mean, he was good. Like he was getting solid yardage, but he was not breaking any big runs.
No,
Um,
that was their MO, like bend don't
yeah,
break. But like
yeah.
they can bend don't break because they have the players to do that. It's not like the Eagles when you play bend don't break and they like slowly go down the entire field. The Niners have the players to play that defense because they're just so good. And I think the turning point in the game, the major turning point, like it wasn't a play, it was when Dre Greenlaw got hurt. When Dre
Well,
Greenlaw got hurt running onto the field.
that was like the
And
craziest thing, man.
I,
That was
I've
wild.
never seen anything like that where your Achilles just pops running onto the field. I've seen it happen on the field, obviously,
Yeah.
but you never see it running onto the field. And as soon as that
Yeah.
happened, I'm like, oh, like
It
they're
reminded
just
me of like remember, but the way that he was like jumping around, but like I don't know why I just thought of this, but remember when Ryan Howard popped his
yeah,
Achilles
run up the first
after he was
baseline.
just running to first base, like he wasn't even like
It
sprint,
happened as soon as he left the box. It
like
just popped.
he was just gonna dig it out because he was gonna be out no matter
Hmm.
what, and it was like that. It's just like crazy how Achilles tears are like that. Like it's just
It's crazy. It's not like a ACL or MCL tear where it only happens a few certain ways and like when it happens. Like
yeah.
it can happen jumping, running, like just
It's just you
turning.
move a certain way and it just
Yeah.
goes pop. It's like a
Like
gunshot. That's what my athletic trainer like he taught he worked with the football team and he was like he saw a dude get his Achilles uh like snap and he said it like coils up and he was like it they describe it like you're getting shot.
yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
that's how it feels. It's crazy.
As soon as that happened, I just knew. I was like, okay, this is huge because now you're gonna put a backup in that spot. Now they're gonna target the middle of the field constantly because that's where Greenlaw plays, and the
Yeah.
run game is gonna take a hit because he's such a good run stopper.
He was
But
so he I mean he was great. Fred Warner was unbelievable
yeah,
too.
Fred Warner played a
Also
great
good.
game too. So that leads me into my next point. Um, the defense played great. I think they up until overtime they held the Chiefs to what 19 points, right? Yeah, because
I
it
believe.
was 19-19 in the regulation. So
Yeah.
defense played great, and they fired Steve Wilkes. I actually
Which
cannot
was
believe that.
I have no idea why they did that.
I
That was
can't believe
crazy.
all the Niners fans online are like, all the Niners fans understand why we did it. All the non-Niners fans don't get it. Clearly, there's a reason why we did it. There's no like he was amazing, like absolutely
Yeah.
amazing for the. I mean, maybe not. I mean, no, I can't even think of a way he wasn't amazing because
Their
he did his
defense was
job.
elite.
He
Yeah,
did
their
his
defense
job.
was elite.
He,
They let up 25 points, but that includes
yeah,
overtime. I mean,
and
to go to
the
overtime,
the whole point of their defense was to keep Mahomes in the pocket. Like I
yeah,
know they should have plenty of times where they keep like Bosa and
yeah,
Chase Young, just keep him in the pocket. And for the
yeah,
majority of the game, I think he did that. Like did a great
yeah.
job at doing that, and he schemed up perfect blitzes and stuff like that.
I mean,
But
and you could tell like Mahomes was flustered by it in
yes,
the first half. Like he was he really looked just uncomfortable.
yeah,
And I think that's what they wanted to do. But obviously Mahomes is great, so he's going to be he broke out of that. But it's kind of crazy how they did that. But at the same time, when you lose like that, somebody's going to be the scapegoat. It's like the Eagles. I mean, somebody was going to be the scapegoat for the
yeah.
season.
I just
And
don't think it should have been him of all people.
oh, I mean, I agree. I mean, but at the same time, it's not going to be Shanahan. They're not
No,
going to fire
they'll
Shanahan.
never do that.
Um,
Unless like he blows a 30-0 lead like he did in Atlanta a couple years ago. I don't think it'll they love him. For some reason, John Lynch absolutely loves him. I don't buy the hype. He can't
I
win
don't
the
know,
big
man.
game.
I think he's a fantastic coach, but at the same, like if you look at it, they would just win. They haven't won the big one yet. I think
Yeah.
they're eventually going to, but they win like crazy.
And
They
they
win
get to the
so much.
NFC Championship almost every year.
Yes, I mean they're a fantastically run organization. They're great at drafting. I mean their offense. I just think the Shanahan like offense where the play action and the run and under center.
It's McVay's offense too. It's like both their offenses are kind
Yeah,
of
well,
ran the
they
same.
all got it from Mike Shanahan. They're
Yeah.
all under the Mike Shanahan tree. So I mean, it's weird to. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see that win. I think it can win a Super Bowl. I just think it has to. You have to be perfect, and I just don't think that they were perfect. McCaffrey was fantastic.
Exactly, and that's the one thing that they were running the ball perfect. I mean, I get the fumble, but that it happened in the first quarter. So,
Yeah.
but you're up. What were they up at halftime? Was either 10-3 or 10-6?
I have it up here. It was at halftime, it was 10-3.
10-3. So you're up 10-3
Or
and
3-0. Sorry, 3-0. What am I saying? 3-0. It was 3-0 halftime. Or 10-0.
no,
10-0.
10-3.
What am I saying? I'm looking at it. My bad.
I think
10-0
it was 10 nothing at halftime.
or 10-3.
Yeah,
10-3.
yeah, 10-3.
All right.
So
That's my final answer. 10-3.
at halftime, you're up 10-3, and Mahomes comes out of halftime, he throws a pick and eat the ball on the 45-yard line. And they
Yeah.
go pass, pass, pass for no reason. When you have the best, arguably the best player in the NFL, McCaffrey, but the best running back. If you
Yeah.
give him the ball, he's getting yards. Unless they send every single person on that defense, he's getting some sort of yards. So you're going to tell me that if you didn't run the ball at McCaffrey 3 times, you weren't getting a first down? Like,
I think they definitely were trying to come out and be aggressive because like they wanted to score, but at the same
they
time,
tried to
like
catch him off
first and
guard.
second down, run the ball. You have the
Yep.
best running back in the whole league. It's definitely puzzling why they did that, especially because of how good the Chiefs corners are playing. I mean, obviously, it was the second quarter, so you don't know how.
Yeah.
Um, they didn't. They were thinking that they'll be fine. They didn't realize the rest of the game Chiefs corners were going to be insane, but they were. So the Chiefs defense was so good. And I thought Purdy was okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Same.
I didn't
Nothing
think he was
crazy.
bad. I didn't think he was great.
Yeah.
Um,
I didn't think he was even good in my opinion.
you don't think so?
No. And that leads, I was just going to talk about this next, Brock
Yeah,
Purdy's analysis and Pat Mahomes' analysis. So we'll start with Purdy because we're already talking about him. I don't, I did not see anything special from him.
yeah,
He's good at extending plays with his
yeah.
legs, and not in the sense of the way Jalen Hurts and Lamar do, but the way of he feels the pressure and he
He's
can
just
get a
quick.
yeah,
I think he's just really quick.
he can get away from the pressure and he can make something happen out of nothing, which is like a really good thing to have. But
Yeah,
he didn't make any crazy throws. He didn't make any deep ball, like perfect passes. Debo was
yeah,
wide open. I know he had pressure in his face, but
yeah,
if you're in the Super Bowl and I'm done with the Mr. Irrelevant stuff. Like, you're in the Super Bowl. You're the starting quarterback for the
yeah,
49ers. You're in the Super Bowl. You need to make those throws. There's some, like, I know he had Ayuk on plenty of third downs where he just missed them.
yeah,
He had Debo in the back of the end zone. And then it's the thing like, okay, but he didn't turn the ball over. I understand that, but he didn't do enough for them to win. And
yeah,
sure, you could talk about the special teams and the fumble from McCaffrey and the blocked extra point. But at the end of the day, it's in the quarterback's hands to go down and score.
yeah.
He needs to be better. What did you if I had to give him a letter grade, I think I'd give him a C plus. What's your
Yeah,
analysis on him?
I would probably say that like a B. I mean, he was just okay. I mean, yeah, you said it, you nailed it on the head. He was not good enough to win them the game. I think that he's a good player. I know that he like the whole Mr. Irrelevant thing. It's so cool to see that he actually was doing this, but I think that now like he's going to be compared to everybody else and
Exactly.
he's just a good player that he has so much talent around him, but he's not I don't think that he's like special
No.
um in term like a special quarterback. I think that he's just going to be solid for them and I don't know if he can win a Super Bowl for them without they have so many weapons. Like I don't I think if they had one less guy, I
It wouldn't
wouldn't
work.
see them being it'd have been even that close. And I mean, Jawan Jennings, though, hey,
Dude, what a guy.
what a play. I mean, he was amazing. I
He
know
did. I mean,
he
he
was
had
like,
265 yards all sorry, 265 yards all year.
yeah, he was like okay, and he's like a fourth string
Yeah.
receiver. He
That
was
was really cool to
awesome.
see. And the trick play, 100. I watched them mic'd up and
Yeah,
I saw Kelsey and Chris Jones and Spags on the sideline, and they're all like talking. They're like, they needed, and this is how confident they were. They're down
yeah,
10-0 in the Super Bowl. They go, they needed a trick play to score on us. So then after that, I'm like, okay, well, they obviously knew that they were like, they had it figured out
yeah.
and they
No,
had Purdy
I
figured
agree.
out. You didn't see a lot of the big plays. It was like a dump off to McCaffrey on like third down. He would run for like 40 yards.
Yeah.
Um, I think outside of McCaffrey, there was really no big plays for the San Fran offense. I'm
Yeah, I mean,
trying to
they had that
think.
one huge play. McCaffrey had a couple long runs, but I mean, they kind of were like bottled up. That
Yeah.
offense was bottled up, which is crazy to say considering how much talent that they have. They
Debo, three catches for 33 yards on 11 targets.
I know it's crazy. I mean, the longest reception for Debo was 12 yards.
Yep.
The longest reception for Ayuk was 20. Like eh, they were just not great. I mean, Ayuk, 3 receptions, 49 yards. Debo, 3 for 33. Uh, like Kittle did nothing, two
Two
for four
catches. Yeah,
yards.
2 catches, 4 yards.
And I know people like that clips going around of him like laughing or doing the
Yeah.
high George thing, and people are like,
And the
"Oh, he's
fumble.
not locked in." I think he's pretty awesome. I think Kittle's awesome.
I think
I
that's just
think
who he
that's just
is.
his thing. That's how he's
Yeah.
just locked in. But I think that they probably could have got him more involved. But I mean, hindsight is 2020.
Hmm.
Really, when you're looking back at it, they could have done so many things to win. But like moving to Patrick Mahomes, he did so much to win that game. He
For sure.
was unbelievable. Especially after having a not great first half to come out in the second half and just like have he has ice in his veins.
Yeah. And especially to come out in the
Ice.
second half and throw a pick right away. Then you're
Yeah,
thinking like if they go down and score it's 17-3. Like I
yeah,
know Pat Mahomes is Pat Mahomes, but I mean the San Fran's defense looked unstoppable. Their offense looked pretty good up until other than that one fumble. And then as soon as the Niners didn't capitalize on that turnover, I'm like,
yeah,
oh, like this is Pat Mahomes' game to lose.
yeah,
And
exactly. I mean,
I'm sitting here like just smiling because I know that they gave, I think it was like a minute and 54 or like a minute and 42, something like that. And they're
yeah,
giving Pat Mahomes the ball back with like a minute, like a 2 minute drill with all of it, almost all of his timeouts. At that point, I was like, okay, like he's at least going to tie the game and get into overtime at the worst. Like there's no way he doesn't get this game into overtime or win the game right here.
dude, he was so good. I mean, it's really like if you have a chance, like if they have to go down the field, I don't know if I'd pick anybody else.
No, I don't
Definitely
think.
not in the league now. I mean, if you're looking like all
Mm-mm.
time, he's up there too. What do you think? What do you think about people saying that he's almost the GOAT? Like, do you see Shannon
I
Sharp saying that he's like the GOAT
I
already?
I I agree that he's up there at this point.
Yeah.
That Super Bowl puts him. I mean, the fact that he beat all the teams that he beat, and he went on the road to do it in some of the games too. Um, you're talking about. I know Miami was a little hurt, but you're beating Miami. It's still Tyreek Hill. It's still Tua. You're
Yeah.
beating Miami. Then you go and you beat Buffalo, and that game was amazing. In my opinion, that was the second best game in the entire playoffs.
Yeah.
Buffalo versus KC in the divisional round, and then you go to Baltimore and you face
And
the number
beat
one
arguably the
defense.
best team all year
Yep. You play the number one defense in the NFL and you play the MVP in Lamar Jackson. And you basically scrape and crawl out of Baltimore with a 3-point win.
and make them look, but they like did made them
And
look
you know,
unimpressive.
made Lamar look like he was a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
Made the run game was non-existent. Like it was just they broke that team.
But the
And then
thing is with Mahomes too, like it doesn't matter. Like I feel like the really big differences has been the last couple years is
mhm,
that specifically this year and a little bit last year, he doesn't have the talent on offense, but he has all the talent on defense.
yeah,
To where he doesn't have to go big play, big play. He needs to have sustained drives
yeah.
and they don't have to score a ton of points because they can actually rely on the defense. And I think it's really, really cool how he just knows that. And he knows that he doesn't have to take huge shots down the field. It's so interesting how he's like so aggressive, yet
But like
he's like
not,
safe at the same time. Yeah,
yeah.
like he does not really throw. I know he threw that one bad pick, but like he
Yeah.
doesn't really
But
throw interceptions.
it's also it's yeah, and that was a step this year. That was like his first interception and like however many, I forget how much pass attempts it was. It was some crazy
Yeah,
stat. But it's cool because me and my friends talk about this all the time. He has outside of Kelsey, like he has no elite weapons on that offense.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
Marquez Valdez Scantling, Kadarius Toney, Nicole Hardman,
Rasheed
Chris
Rice is good.
Rasheed
Rasheed
Rice is
Rice is
good, but
good.
he's not like elite. And
Yeah,
same with
and
Christian Watson.
he's what, a rookie?
Yeah,
He's a
he's a
rookie,
rookie.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
mean, and
like
Pacheco's good, but
Pacheco's
like
good, but he's like a seventh
he's
round
not a
running back.
lead
Like
back.
he's a seventh round draft pick running back from last year in his second year. Like he has no like certified elite weapons that have been established in the NFL for years, like an elite talent like Devontae Adams or someone like that.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see him like win Super Bowl. And that's what going back to what you said, do you think he's like up there in the GOAT? That's what makes him like almost achieve that up there like GOAT status because of what he's doing with the players around him. I know Brady was amazing, greatest ever to do it, 7 Super Bowls, but
Yeah.
outside of the like he had great pieces on offense like Gronk and Edelman, and they were
Yeah.
also like second, third day draft picks too, but
Yeah.
they were established as his career went, they were established.
Yeah.
These guys aren't established yet. Like they're in their
Yeah.
first and second years, some of them. And then you look at MVS and Hardman, and they're like no one, they're afterthoughts. If they were on another team,
Yeah.
they're probably like not that good. So,
I mean,
um,
it's really interesting. And I mean, obviously don't want to disparage Tom Brady, but he's
no,
like he's I think he's the GOAT still.
yeah,
So, but I think
100%.
that Mahomes is like entering the conversation
He
in
gets
terms
one
of like
more, and you can seriously argue that he's in
I
it.
think it probably would have to be two because how many did Brady get? What,
Brady
7?
got 7. I think
Yeah.
Mahomes needs one more to be in the conversation, like actually in it, like considering him.
Yeah.
But if he gets 2, I think if he gets 6, there's no or 5. Um, you can argue that yeah, Brady has 2 more, and Brady beat him twice, but
Brady did beat him twice.
that's the
Like it's
thing.
such a hard
But
thing.
but if you look at the 2 games, the Chiefs would have won the first game in the AFC Championship in 2019, 2018
Yeah.
if the left or the right end doesn't line up off sides when Brady throws a pick off
D
Gronk's
Ford,
hands. D Ford. If
classic.
D Ford doesn't line up off sides, and then that's game. And if Pat Mahomes doesn't have his 3 offensive linemen out in the Super Bowl, what happens? I
Yeah.
mean, that Bucks team was amazing. Like one of the greatest teams I've ever seen
Oh
is
yeah.
that Bucks team. But you don't know what can happen if the Chiefs are fully healthy. But then again, at the end of the day, they're still going to bring up that he's 0-2 against Brady.
Yeah. Yeah.
So where do you think the Niners go from here?
I mean, looking forward for them, I think their biggest thing is just to continue what they got going, honestly. I mean, you went to overtime, they lost by 3 points in the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
I mean, if you look at it, they're good enough to win a Super Bowl, I think.
Do
And
you think they
I
get
just think
back
you
there?
just
Do you think they
what
get
is
back
that?
there next? Do you think they get back there next year?
Hopefully not, because I hope the Eagles will. But
Yeah, but like from like a non-biased standpoint.
yeah. Like objectively, I think that they could. I'm not. I don't know if they definitely will, because you never know. There's always a team that could come out of nowhere.
Mhm.
But I would say there's definitely like an 80% chance that they can get
Yeah,
back
I,
to
I
this.
agree.
They definitely have the best odds.
Yeah,
Um,
right now they're the favorites to win the Super Bowl next year already.
yeah,
So
I'm not surprised. They just have so much talent, and they have to. I think they need to keep the group together, and like you
yes,
could bring in a couple of different guys.
they got to pay
Um,
Ayuk.
yeah, they got to pay Ayuk. I think he's amazing. So.
I think he's better than Debo in my opinion, from like a true wide receiver standpoint.
I disagree. Debo's insane. I think Ayuk's really good, but Debo, I mean, he didn't look great, but Debo is
No,
such a game changer, and I think that's why it was so crazy that he looked it so bad and like
yeah,
he didn't like make any huge plays because I mean, if you look at it in the AFC Championship, dude, he was crazy. He was so
yeah.
good. So I mean. I think that if you're gonna I think they should keep Debo, at least Debo, and um, if you have to let go of Ayuk, it kind of depends on how much money, I
I think
guess.
he wants like 20 to 23, which is a lot. That would put him right outside the top 10.
Yeah, that is a lot. I
Yeah.
don't know.
All right. So real quick, is Kyle Shanahan on the hot seat if he does not win the Super Bowl next year?
I know we touched on this earlier, but no, no,
No, you're
he's
gonna
not,
know. I'm gonna go
dude.
maybe. It's possible because of I
Yeah,
mean the fact that he's been there now. That'd be his third Super Bowl, like as head coach of the Niners, and he wouldn't win. But then again,
yeah.
like he's getting there, but at the same time, he just
The
can't win
thing
the
is,
big
like, it's
games.
so hard to get there, dude. It's so hard to get to the even the NFC Championship. Like
Hmm.
it's crazy
If you
hard
don't
to
have
get.
that first if you don't have that first round bye, it's so hard to get there.
Yeah, I mean I think he's a fantastic coach. I just think he's so close. I think he's gonna get it. I mean, I know that it's like he did lose and he made some questionable decisions like in
Yeah.
overtime. But he is a fantastic coach, and I don't think he's Nazi. I mean, look at guys like McCarthy.
Yeah. I don't know how McCarthy didn't get
McCarthy,
fired.
yeah, they lose in the playoffs first round every
Yeah.
year.
First and
They're
second
a
round
great
every
regular
year.
season team. Yeah, and he's still there. So
Yeah.
I if they continue to win, I don't think he's gonna get fired. I mean, I guess you could say the seat is getting like lukewarm, is a little bit lukewarm. Like it's getting a little bit warmer. It's
Lukewarm.
getting it's getting a tiny bit warmer, but it's definitely not hot yet. The seat is not
All
hot
right.
yet. So what do you think?
I think it's getting there.
Oh,
I think this off season is gonna tell they gotta resign Ayuk. They gotta do a couple things that make the team believe that like, okay, Shanahan can get it done. Because I know the players believe in him, but if he goes to this next Super Bowl and he doesn't win it with San Fran, that'd be three Super Bowls with San Fran that he doesn't win.
yeah,
So I think that's when they start to question like, is this the guy that like can win a Super Bowl? Like, or is he just gonna continue doing what he always does? And it's get a 10-point lead and pass. That's what
yeah,
he always does.
yeah. No, I do see that, but the grass is not always greener.
Exactly. Now it's time for everyone's favorite topic, the Eagles. Everyone's so in love with them right now. Everyone's so happy with the way they've been running things.
Yup.
Um, especially with the we're just gonna go right into it, especially with the news about Hassan Reddick. Peter, how do you feel about the rumors that Hassan Reddick
Look at this.
uh
Wait, I literally just got his jersey.
breaking news on the
I
Philly
just
Dogs
got his jersey.
podcast? The
Look at
Kelly
that.
Green the Kelly
I literally
Green
just
Hassan
got the
Reddick
jersey for
jersey.
Christmas. I mean, it's so classic that this is going to happen to me. I mean, I love that
Only
guy.
you, only
I
you.
know. I was like, what the heck, man? I mean, it's
But
so classic. But at the same time, like at first, I was really upset about it. But then,
mhm,
like when you were telling me that it like what like the real situation was, and I was looking at like the Twitter about it, I think that it made me feel a little bit better that he
yeah.
probably will come back.
For anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about, Hassan Reddick has been granted um his like basically his if he wants to go and search and seek for a trade to see how much other teams would pay him and come back to the Eagles with a number and be like, this is how much other teams are going to pay me. You have to pay me this or I'm leaving. Basically that. So continue. My fault for cutting you off. I'm just giving
All good,
everyone.
all good. Way to add context. But I think that he like he's a really good player, but he's at that age where it's really hard to know when he's going to drop off.
Yeah.
I think that he didn't benefit from the scheme this year. Um, and at first, like when I saw that he requested a trade, I was like, bruh, like the
Here we go
organization
again.
sucks. Like, does this organization suck kind of thing? But I figured it was just about money. Like that's what I guess I realized because I know he was kind of disgruntled about the money situation. Like there was a clip, it might have been Elliot Shore Parks or Jeff McLean, who
ESP man.
yeah, like the worst reporters, but who were like interviewing him, and um, he was like, you all see it, like I'm underpaid kind of
Oh
thing,
yeah. I
and
think
he is,
what's he getting? 15 a year?
yeah, which is nothing for, I mean, for an edge rusher,
Yeah, I
like
mean,
him,
he got paid for he's getting paid 14 this year or 15. Yeah, he got paid 16 last year. He's getting paid
yeah,
15 this year. That's
yeah,
insane for like a top five edge rusher in the NFL.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, he's awesome. I don't know if I'd say he's top five, but he's
I think
definitely
I
top 10.
100% I 100% would. I'd go TJ Watt, Miles Garrett, Nick Bosa,
Uh-huh.
Micah.
Yeah.
Then I go him.
I
I
think he's
mean,
just that I think he's like the tier under elite.
it's also
Uh,
they like for dropping him back into pass coverage.
Oh yeah, I
Way
think the
too
thing that
much.
really kills him, like you said, like they drop him back into pass
Yep.
coverage, and he gets chipped every single play.
Hmm.
Like the tight end chips him every single
We
play.
also did you ever realize that we don't move him around? He's always on that right side. I mean, I
Yeah,
guess it's left outside linebacker, but when you're
yeah,
looking at the TV, he's always on the right side. We
yeah,
we don't move him around. We don't send like I would love if we had him play the Micah role, not in pass coverage, but in the
yeah,
sense where he's blitzing. He's going right through the middle, right through the A gap. He
yeah,
can go play left outside linebacker, right outside linebacker. You can put him at edge with Nolan Smith on the same side. Like I that's why I love Fangio. I think Fangio is really going to bring, and he does drop him back into pass coverage sometimes,
yeah.
but it's not going to be to where you're killing him. He'll drop into the flat. You're not going to hook him
Like
into a,
two, 3 snaps a game, five
yeah,
snaps
and
a
you're
game
not
of
going to
coverage.
hook him
Nothing.
to where
Yeah,
he's dropping straight back in pass coverage and where he has to cover like the middle of the field. Like, what are we
yeah.
doing there?
That's
Um,
crazy. But at the same time, I think that it's important that they might have to pay him because if you look like unless they're going to trade for another or pick up another end.
mhm.
Um, I don't know if Nolan Smith showed enough this year
No,
to
not
really
yet.
be like comfortable with being like, all right, we can lose Reddick because we have Nolan Smith. I don't think he showed enough this year.
No, and especially like Josh Sweat kind of dropping off a little bit too.
Yeah, he was
Um,
not great the second half of the
no, he I think everyone wasn't great. Like even Jalen
yeah.
Carter wasn't that great in the second half of the year. He had a monster first half,
Jordan Davis
and
was terrible.
Jordan Davis
Jordan
was
Davis was
absolutely atrocious. And especially when that comment came out, I think it's like Jacob Sports on Twitter,
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
saying that like he's lazy and doesn't try. Like that didn't help at
yeah.
all either.
And Brian Baldinger made a whole
Yup.
video talking about like how embarrassing is
Yeah,
that?
and
Make a
and
whole
Brian
video
Ball
talking about how
and
you're bad.
Brian is an amazing source. Like if he says something, you
Yeah,
know he's right. Like, and
yeah. I
he
was
was
like,
just
I mean,
coming.
he's facts.
He was just coming at him, and like as a
He was
player,
cooking
that's
him.
gotta like suck.
Yeah,
But
he was cooking him. I mean,
yeah,
but like I think that you have to pay him. But if you're gonna trade him, it really depends on what
you
you're
need to get
getting.
you need to get the value back. Yeah, I'm not trading him for like a second round pick. Like
Exactly.
I've
But
seen a lot of people be like, oh, second and a seventh is fine. No, I want like
yeah,
give me Brian Burns and a second, and then we can
yeah.
talk.
Well,
Like
that's not gonna happen. But
no,
I
no, but
think
I'm
that the
just
thing
saying
is with
like
pass rushers like that, and especially as like a 30-year-old defensive end,
yeah, he's
I
getting
don't
older.
think that there's going to be sufficient value. Like if you trade him, you're not going to get like stuff
Yeah.
back that
Because
is
teams are
worth.
scared of the drop off because it's like, all right, well,
Yeah,
what am I risking here? If he's 30 years old and he
yeah.
gets one injury, he might be done.
It's like if you see players traded for like a fourth round pick and they're like a really good player, it feels like it's not sufficient value for the player
Yeah.
um,
I mean, look at
compared to how good he was in the field.
The Khalil Mack trade was kind of crazy. Same
They
with
trade.
the DeAndre Hopkins trade too was kind of nuts. Um, what was the I'm trying to find the
It was 4
Chargers.
draft picks.
Yeah, a
Oh,
2020
never mind. That was
second
Bears to read.
and a sixth round pick. Oh no. That's the wrong thing. Um, that's the Bears trade. I can't find it. It's not popping up for me.
Yeah.
Um,
He but why isn't it showing?
yeah, I don't know
Oh,
why it's not.
not is being annoying here today.
Yeah.
But
Uh, so it's not popping up for me either.
I
But
just don't think that they're gonna get enough for what it's worth.
what he's
Okay, so
worth, no.
traded by the Bears to the Chargers for a 2022 second round pick, who ended up being Jaquan Brisker and a
Good player.
2023 sixth round pick.
Yeah,
So like
like for Khalil Mack, and at that point he was approaching the end of his prime, which is what Hassan is doing too. He's approaching
yeah.
the end of his prime.
And
So
Khalil Mack was literally like the one of the best players in the entire league at
yeah,
that
and
time.
now it's just like he's non-existent.
So
So
if you look at it, I don't think that they're like who knows if they're even going to get that
yeah,
for
and I think that's what they're afraid of. They're going to look at that Khalil Mack scenario and
yeah.
be like, "Well, we gave up a second round pick, and now he's non-existent."
Yeah.
So I think you just keep him. I think you got to pay him. I
Yeah.
mean, and if it
And for like
doesn't
2
work
years.
out, and if it doesn't work out, then you trade him. Like,
Yeah.
but you got to at least, excuse me, pay him what he's worth, in my opinion, which is 25 mil.
I agree. I agree.
Okay, so now we're gonna go right into Jalen Hurts. Okay. Over the weekend, and This came out a couple days before the Super Bowl. I know everyone probably did not watch the Pro Bowl, but if you saw some of the highlights and some of the clips on Twitter and Instagram, you'd see Jalen Hurts actually smiling and having fun with his teammates.
Having a
Um,
personality. I was like,
exactly.
oh,
Which I don't mind that he's stoic, but I do like seeing that like fun side of Jalen Hurts because we never ever, literally ever see that. So
yeah.
Peter, uh, would you be open to Jalen Hurts being like more fun on the sidelines, like talking about like dancing and like smiling, or do you like prefer his like stoic, calm approach?
I think I like. I mean, it's you got to have the best of both worlds there. I mean, I mean, it's really a personality thing. If he's performing on the field, I don't care
Yeah,
really. I think that he's a good player, and I think that he's going to perform no matter what. Maybe if he does have more fun, then he won't. Maybe he puts so much pressure on himself that if he's having more fun, then he'll be really good. But I think that it's really like it's not a huge deal, but I'd say it would be cool if he was more like
yeah.
personality guy. But I think he looks so tough when he is like stoic on the
And he's
sideline.
just sitting there like staring.
Yeah, but when they're losing,
It sucks, yeah.
it makes him look like an
But
idiot.
but when we're
Not
winning,
really.
it's like, damn, like he does not care. Like he's just
Yeah,
locked in.
yeah, exactly. So, what do you think?
I prefer him to be stoic. I'd rather him be calm and have like a cool demeanor. I mean, he could celebrate when we score a touchdown and stuff like
Yeah,
that, or like clap when we get a stop. But I don't prefer him to be smiling all around because that kind of like pisses me off. Like if we're losing and he's smiling and stuff like
yeah,
that, like I don't want to see that. We're losing.
yeah,
So for the people that are like, this is the Jalen Hurts we need. People forget that 2 years ago when he was in the MVP conversation, he wasn't that like he wasn't smiling. He wasn't
yeah,
like he was dancing when we scored touchdowns and stuff like that.
yeah,
And they always pull out the clip of the Super Bowl when we scored on the tush push. I think it was the first tush push we did, and he's like doing the gritty down the sideline.
yeah,
People be like, "Oh, this is the Jalen Hurts we need." That play got reviewed. That was the only reason why he was doing the gritty down the sideline because he was standing there waiting for the refs to make a decision, and then he
yeah,
celebrated after.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't really know what we're talking about there. Um, real quick, we're just gonna hit on a few free agents real quick, Peter, and
Okay.
I'm gonna see if you think they fit the scheme with Fangio or if you don't think they fit the scheme. So first up, Eddie Jackson just got released by the Bears. Would you sign Eddie Jackson and like do something, whether it's trade or cut Byard or figure something out there? Would you take a chance on Eddie Jackson at this point?
I think the thing is with Byard, it's like I think that he can be a good player. I think maybe
Hmm.
he just needed another year, but he's getting paid a lot of money. So if they
Yeah,
do cut him and pick up Eddie Jackson, that would be cool. Eddie Jackson did play his best year under. I'm pretty sure he was all pro under Fangio. So I think that it would be cool if they got him, but he's not like a game changer. But
no,
they
no,
do need another safety.
yeah.
Safety's
Compare next
definitely
to
definitely an
Reed.
area. Because I think I think Blankenship's a real player,
Yeah.
so I think that they should keep him. But I think it'd be cool if they got Nate Jackson. What do you
Okay.
think?
Um, it depends. Like he kind of got washed up a little bit this year, but I
Yeah,
think he's better than Byard at this point. But
hopefully. I
it
mean, who
depends.
knows?
I think I'd rather get someone like Cam Curl. Cam Curl is only 25.
Yeah, Cam
Um,
Curl. Whenever the Eagles play
he's just
the
on their
Commanders, is always good. He's always
yeah,
good.
always plays a good game, even in like the COVID game a
He's
couple
always like
years
one of those
ago.
players that's like, damn, like he's good. Like
Yeah,
he actually
very
makes
massively
good.
underrated.
Yeah,
Um, and that
rotting on a
goes
bad
that I
team.
mean he can also play down in the box too, which is really good.
Yeah.
And speaking of the box, we need linebackers. So if you had to pick one of these three, um, who are you picking? Frankie Louvu, Drew Twank. Sorry, I messed it up. Drew Tranquil, and obviously Patrick Queen. Which one are you taking? It should be obvious here.
Obviously Patrick Queen, but they're
Yes.
not going to sign Patrick Queen.
Yeah. So if you
There's
had to
no
pick between Luvu and Drew, who are you picking?
way. I would probably pick Tranquil because I mean I've watched a lot of Chiefs this year, so I mean I thought he was good.
Yeah.
He's also like a tank, dude.
Yeah, he's huge.
He's like solid
Yeah. And
muscle.
that's what we need. We don't have any huge linebackers that can come in
Yeah,
there and like make a difference like that.
or like a tackling machine, like how
Yeah.
TJ Edwards was, how Singleton was.
Singleton. Yep.
Like Singleton on the Broncos this year was
Third
a
most tackles in the
beast.
NFL.
Yeah, he was a
It's
beast. I mean, I think we
nuts.
missed that.
Yeah.
Like a sure tackling linebacker. Like Cunningham, I'm pretty sure had some of the most missed tackles in the
Yeah,
league.
same with
He looked
Moreau.
good.
Moreau was awful.
Morrow was horrible. Yeah, Morrow was
Yeah.
horrible. But like Cunningham was okay, but I thought he had a ton of missed tackles. And I think that a sure tackler like Tranquil would be cool. What do you would you pick him too?
Yeah, I think I'd pick Tranquil too because we have the smaller, versatile linebacker in N'Kobe. Even though N'Kobe's not as good as we thought,
Yeah,
he's still that fast guy. And if he recovers from injury and stops becoming injury prone, then he potentially could be that fast linebacker that we're looking for. But yeah, I'd go get Tranquil too. I think
yeah,
so. All right, the Sixers are currently 32 and 22. They sit fifth in the Eastern Conference, uh, right behind the Knicks, half a game out. All-Star break is here. Tyrese Maxey is, of course, an all-star, but well deserved.
sure.
Um, Buddy Hield, amazing. I think he's averaging like 23 points a game and
Yeah,
shooting 40% from three. Amazing. You're 2.5 games above the Pacers, who are behind you in that sixth spot, which is the last spot for the playoffs. And you are currently, I believe, almost 9 games. Yeah, 8.5 games above the Hawks, which is the last wild card spot or last play-in spot
yeah.
in the NBA. So, Peter, how would you evaluate the Sixers first half, and how would you evaluate them in their
Like moving
last?
forward.
Yeah, I guess in their last like 5 to 10 games, and what do you see in those 5 to 10 games that
Yeah.
might be a bright spot moving forward in the second half of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they're definitely a lot of bright spots. I mean, with Embiid, dude, they're one of the best teams in the league. I think that they can
The
win a
best, in my
championship.
opinion, but
Yeah, like they might be the best. I think the Celtics are number one
Celtics is
personally.
hard, but
Yeah.
yeah, like net rating, offensive net rating, defensive net rating, the Sixers are number one when
Yeah,
Embiid
I
plays.
mean, exactly. Like they're so good when Embiid plays. Like Anthony Edwards said when we played the Timberwolves early in the year. I don't see how they lose. That's what he said. He was like, I don't see how
Hmm.
they lose. They're so good when Embiid is hitting on all cylinders, and with Buddy playing so well. I mean, it's just like a breath of fresh air to have a
He
guy.
fits so well, man.
Yes, he can fit anywhere. I mean, he's such an elite shooter, and have like the past like couple weeks without Joel, like
Brutal.
they like it's so brutal. They're so brutal.
It
Like
hurts to
they
watch the
shot
games. Like it
yeah
genuinely hurts to like sit there and watch it.
yeah they're 29th. I'm pretty sure they were 29th in 3-point attempts.
Yeah.
Like they had nobody to shoot, and I think that like Maxi has not looked great the past couple weeks. Like it's hard when he's like the focal point guy, like when they have to guard him. Like the best defenders on him, the whole defense is there to stop Maxi. I
And
think
they
he's
and they
really
trap
good.
him too. Like they they
Yeah.
they send two sometimes at the end of the shot clock, and it's like,
Or
all
play
right.
box and one. They play
Yeah,
box and
that's the
one on
worst
Maxi.
when they play box and one against him. It's like they
Yeah.
fluster him, and then it's like, who are you going to give the ball to in that second
Yeah.
rotation campaign? Like,
Kelly Oubre.
yeah,
Like
and Kelly
I did
Oubre has
not
looked
like Kelly Oubre should not be taking that many shots.
no.
He's not been great. He scores a couple points, but the thing is, like, he's not really like a you
His
could see.
shots his shot selection is terrible.
Oh yeah, you could see why teams hate him,
Hmm.
like teams that he's been on. But I think that going forward, if they just get their guys back, I think a healthy team without Embiid, like without Embiid, obviously, they can win games. But it's going to be really tough for them to stay in the
The like
playoffs,
the
like you stay out
playoffs.
of the play-in.
Hmm.
Because if you look at like Indiana is a couple games back, but that's going to be tough
Two and
because
a half games is so you can make up 2.5 games in literally like two
yeah.
days, and
I
especially with
just
the
think that they can.
Sixers schedule
Yeah.
after the break.
Oh,
I mean, it's brutal. Like the
oh, it's
first,
tough.
let me look at the first 4 games. Knicks, Cavs, Bucks, Celtics, like just getting hammered right out the
Yeah.
break. So, and the only good thing is like you're catching the Knicks at a time where OG's hurt, where Brunson's a little
Randall is
banged
Randall
up,
still hurt? Is Randall back?
Randall's hurt.
Okay.
So you're catching them at a good time to catch them, but at the same time, it's like, is Batum gonna be back? Is Melton gonna be back? They should be. I mean, Batum's injury was supposed to be like day to day, and it's turned into like a 3 week injury.
And I think Melton coming back is going to be big. But if I don't know if you saw the interview, Nick Nurse was talking about like starting, and
Hmm.
it seems like Buddy's going to start
He should. I
when
know you
Melton
want
comes
Melton to
back.
start because that lineup is good, but
Well,
I
yeah.
I believe that Buddy's shooting just elevates this lineup so much, and that's the
Oh, I,
factor.
I I do agree. I think the only thing is Melton's defense
Yep.
is like needed in that position, especially because Maxi's not really a great defender.
You could run a 3 guard lineup. Like you
You
could
could,
do that.
and I think they will. I just think with Melton and Batum coming back, like they're like real NBA players. Like and then Oubre doesn't have to play like 30 minutes.
Which thank
Um,
God.
and Tobias like comes back and is actually healthy because the last time he played, he was
He was
awful
like because
against
he's
the
just
Wizards.
dead. Like he's so sick, and then he
Yeah,
keeps playing. He's not giving himself like a chance to like recover.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so with Batum coming back and not coming back, what would your starting lineup? What would your starting five be right now without Embiid? Obviously, everyone healthy except Embiid. What would your starting five be like if you were the
Yeah, I
coach?
mean, it's tough to say, but it's really going to be probably the regular starting five, but it depends. So I think that it'll probably be Maxi. I guess Heald starting. I know Nick Nurse talked about that. That
Hmm.
you think Heald is going to start. So it's probably going to be Maxi, Buddy, Batum, Tobias, and Paul Reed at center. And then have Oubre come off the bench, please, and play less than 35 minutes a night because I
Yeah,
know like he's good, but like
dude,
Jesus,
he's so good off the bench. I mean, he was
he does
playing
some
amazing off
crazy
the
stuff.
bench.
Yeah, just put him like he's good in like a bottle. Like when he comes out and has to come out and play really well, it's
Hmm.
the same thing with like Paul Reed. When you have these guys who are not great players, but when they're in there to
Playing
do
30,
one
35 minutes.
thing, yeah, like limited minutes, they're there to do just a couple things. Once when they try and do too much,
Hmm.
that's when
When
it
you're
becomes an
playing
issue.
Paul Reed for the entire quarter, it's kind of like, all right, like,
Like Paul Reed's he can play 20 minutes a night and
yeah,
be awesome, like huge energy guy. But when he's playing like 30 minutes,
it's
there's
like,
gonna the stuff's gonna come out that makes him look like he
and at the end of
sucks.
the game, like when he's not getting rebounds because he's too small, he's 6'9", and he's going up against
Exactly.
these big centers, and he's tired. I mean,
He's
he
not a
already is
starting
at
center.
exactly. He's already at a disadvantage, and he's playing 35 minutes, and he's gassed. Like it's hard. And what you were saying with Oubre, I love Oubre off the bench. If Oubre's playing
Yeah.
22, 23 minutes a game, that is
He's
perfect.
awesome.
Takes
Yeah.
taking 6, 7 shots a game, that's perfect. I
Yeah.
can't have Kelly Oubre going 0 for 6 in the first quarter. Like that just can't happen. And my starting lineup, if I were being non-biased and I wasn't looking at contracts or looking at anything, my starting lineup: Maxi, Melton, Heald, Batum, Reed. Toby's going to the bench. I don't care. Like I don't care. I'm not. I don't care about your feelings. I don't care how much money you're making. I don't care if you're a former All Star. Tobias Harris is like not a real person. The way he plays. I just sometimes I just sit there and I question myself. I'm like, there's no way this dude's actually getting paid $40 million right now, right? Because some of the stuff he does, he's just like a brain fart. Like
Yeah.
he can't attack the rim. He's 6'9" or 6'8" and can't attack the rim correctly. He gets bodied by like Kyrie Irving outside. He's trying to back down Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving's like, no, you're not backing me down, buddy. And
He's
and
good at
some,
that. He is good at that though. He's a good
but
post
but
game.
he's not. He's like the most non-physical 6'8" forward I think I've ever seen in my entire life because he just does not know how to use his body. Like he spins the wrong way sometimes when he's in the post. He'll pump fake and then he'll do like a hezzy. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
your hezzy sucks. You're
I,
getting me nowhere.
dude, what I think is so weird, like it's just so weird the way that he plays because like I think that he's good. It's hard to see him as like a second best player right
Yeah.
now. And some nights he's awesome. The best Tobias is when Tobias is decisive.
Yep. And
And
we've been saying that since like 2019.
yeah, when he's decisive and when he catches and shoots, like I think that he's really good with like that. But then he gets these games where he's just like in a funk,
Yeah.
and
And he doesn't know what to do and he's pump faking. He's like
he takes
trying to
really weird shots.
yep.
He's a nice little post game, and like you were saying, it's like sometimes he's really physical, but then other times he's just like a
He
wuss.
doesn't
Like he
yeah,
doesn't
he,
even
like
yeah,
it's
like
like come on, dude.
he just lets him like especially on defense sometimes like he just lets him do whatever. Um,
Whenever I think you can tell the most whenever we play Boston and he gets exposed by Jason Tatum.
yeah,
That's when it's like, okay, you were literally 1 inch smaller than this dude. Like
yeah. But at least the thing is, I definitely think he's going to start. There's no
he
way he
will.
doesn't
There's no
start.
way he's no like Nick Nurse and Daryl Morey absolutely love him.
Yeah, I mean he's a good player, man. Like he's good, but he's just not. I know he's so easy to hate. I know he's so
Oh,
easy to
he's easily the most
but
dislikable. Like you could dislike him so easily.
they need his scoring right now. And I think that he'll probably come in and he'll probably be a lift for rebounding as well because their rebounding is not
Yeah,
looking
it's terrible. And we're gonna use that to get right into the next thing, which is
here we
Andre
go.
Drummond.
Oh,
We found
his
out
biggest fan right here. We got
we
Andre
we found
Drummond's
out
biggest fan on the pod.
over the weekend that we did have a trade in place for Andre Drummond. In fact, it was agreed upon between the Bulls general manager and our general manager, Del Morey, and they wanted one more. I think we offered 2 second-round picks, and they wanted three, and we said no for one more second-round pick. And I think that truly is the reason why we traded Springer and Pat Bev and got back different players and picks because we were trying to get Andre Drummond. And how do you not give up that one other second-round pick, dude? You're getting 13 rebounds a game. You're getting 12 points a game. You're getting a physical center who sets screens hard, is a veteran who can teach Paul Reed different ways to rebound and different ways to set screens.
And then another good thing, you don't have to play Mo Bamba.
Exactly. You don't
Oh,
have to play Mo Bamba who doesn't know how to use his arms. Like he just walks around. It's like he's in a dream. Like I said the last podcast, he's in a dream. His
he's
arms are
so
like
slow.
this. He's so
Yeah.
slow. He
His
does
arms
not
are like
care.
so long. They're like
Yeah.
7'10", but he's so like
He
not
just
fit.
doesn't care. Like he does
Yeah.
not care.
That's what it seems like, right? That's
Yeah.
what it seems like.
And you can get him out of the rotation. You could play Paul Reed 20, 25 minutes a game.
Shout out
It's a
Ricky Council too.
Ricky
Played this
Council
game.
dog. Um, I mean, you could do everything you want if you get Andre Drummond at center. And then when Embiid comes back, you can learn to play Paul Reed at the four next to Embiid in those minutes. And then you could bring Drummond in for what, 10, 12 minutes in a playoff game, if that, 8 to 10 minutes. You're not
And
going to
then
hurt
if
him.
and also if Embiid is out for a game or two, and
Yes.
which he always is, it's gonna be that would be big. I mean, if he
Yeah.
can
And you don't
play,
need to play Paul Reed and you don't need to play someone like DeAndre Jordan in a playoff game. Like,
yeah. For the thing is like we said, Paul Reed is a good player, but when you
mhm.
have to play in 30 minutes, he's not like he's not
No.
a starter. Like he's just not like when he has to do too much, he's not. He looks
In the
terrible.
first half, he'll get like 12 rebounds or 12 points, 10 rebounds. It's like, oh my gosh, he's got a double double at half. And
Yeah,
then like
yeah,
he ends the game with like 15 points, 12 rebounds. It's like,
yeah.
what did he do in the second
Yeah,
half?
exactly. He's just not the kind of player. And I think with Drummond, I mean, for 3 second-round picks, I would
You
have done
gotta
that
do
in,
that.
in a second.
And then you
I
can possibly resign him to a 1 year deal.
yeah. I mean,
We
I know you
shouldn't.
love Drummond. Drummond's kind of an idiot, I think.
He
But
is, yeah, 100%.
he,
Like he does some dumb things sometimes. Like
yeah, but he's
he'll
good.
he
He's
tries
good.
to run like point guard sometimes. Like it's
Yeah,
dumb, but at the end of the day, like you're getting an experienced center who can put up 15 and 15 in one game. Like I know
yeah,
against us, he put up 20 points, like 18 rebounds one game. I'm like, what the
yeah.
hell?
Like he's
Like,
at least solid. Like he's solid.
yes.
He's a really good
And
backup.
I would like to take credit for putting the Sixers Twitter, everyone who's in the Sixers community, onto the Andre Drummond trade wave. I've been saying this since last year. Anyone, go look at my Twitter, ball go boom, and go into the top on your phone and type in Drummond. And you'll scroll down and you'll see in early 2023, I'm saying go get Drummond, trade for Drummond. And now we're in 2024, 1 year later, and everyone is saying go get Drummond, go get Drummond. Like you need to trade for
Yeah.
Drummond. So me personally, I'll take my bow, I'll take my credit, putting everyone on to trade for Andre Drummond. So
I
now
mean,
that
he
leads,
was on the team
yeah, 2 years
for
ago, yeah,
yeah,
100%. But we should have. I mean, you should have just gave up Matisse in that trade instead of Drummond. I would 100% given up Matisse.
yeah.
I
I
think
mean,
if we have Drummond, that's the year we played Miami too when Embiid
yeah,
got hurt. If you
yeah.
have Drummond, you might win that series.
The thing is, like, it's so hard to like it's really easy to say now that you need Andre Drummond because Embiid
Hmm.
is hurt.
Yeah.
I personally would rather have nah. I
No,
don't
don't even do it. Don't even do it.
I was gonna say, well, I don't know because I really like Paul Reed
Rethink
in
that
that
thought.
backup role. What?
Rethink that thought. Don't even do it.
I wasn't gonna say I'd rather have Paul Reed, but I think that sometimes Paul Reed is better for what they need in like that moment. If you
Hmm.
need something to go and have like crazy energy,
Yeah.
when Embiid is there, obviously. But when Embiid is not here, I think that Drummond would be literally so good.
Yeah.
Drummond would be awesome. So
Also,
I do like Drummond.
would you re-sign Buddy Hield? He's a free agent. If you can offer him a contract extension, 2 years, 40 million. Are you doing that?
Yes.
20 mil a year.
Yes.
I'm
Uh,
100%
I
doing that
think
too,
that
dude.
I just really
I
want to
just
see him
bought his
play.
jersey. I absolutely
Yeah,
love him.
that's
I
so
lo-
funny.
I love him, dude.
Did you
He
get which one, which kind
just
did
a
you get?
blue one, just a blue
Okay.
one. I don't have a
Yeah.
blue jersey. I have like all the alternates and city jerseys,
Yeah.
but he's what this team needs. He is that JJ Redick role, that in the dribble handoff,
Yeah.
and dude, he's such a great passer. I don't know where
He's
that
a
came
better
from.
offensive player than JJ Redick, I think.
Yes,
And he's a
and
similar shooter.
and he's bigger and he can play a little bit better defense. Obviously, he's not a great
Still
defender.
bad, but not
Still
as bad as
bad, but
JJ.
JJ Redick
Not as
was like
bad
a
as
6'2"
JJ.
defensive liability. Like
Right.
Buddy Hield, he had like 3 steals in one of the games,
Yeah.
and when he's hot, he can create his own shot,
Yeah.
and like it just if once he's shooting it, you know it's going in. Like you could
Yeah.
just tell if it's going in, and now you have that threat to where you have to play him when Maxine and Embiid are in the pick and roll. Like you have to play that guy. It's not just Melton and Batum and Toby. Like
I agree.
you got to play him. And for $20 million per year, if you're getting someone that gives you 15 points, it can shoot 40% from three. I'm
Yeah.
100% doing that. It's like a
I want to
better.
see him play with Joel so bad. Dude,
Oh,
he's gonna be
dude.
so good with Joel because Joel, like, he and they could do like a maybe like a two-man game and
Yep, the dribble handoff,
Maxi can run off some screen.
the old school
Yeah.
JJ Redick dribble handoff. Like,
Like the two-man game,
yep.
the two-man game that Maxi and Embiid
Mhm.
are so good at, you could probably also do
Oh
that with.
yeah. And also when Maxi's like has like an ISO and Embiid can set off balls
Yeah.
for Buddy Hield, and that just creates more movement because you have the off ball three, you have Maxi to Hield on an off ball screen, and then you can go down to Embiid in the low post. Just so much like
Yeah.
just because he shoots the ball so
It
well.
opens it up. It really opens
Exactly.
up
It
the
spaces the
offensive line.
floor so much better than
And
what
I
it
think that
did.
he's such a good catch and shooter that that's like another thing that
Hmm.
they did. Like Melton's okay at catch and shoot, like he's a
Yeah.
pretty good percentage,
Some nights
but
he's not that good though.
yeah, Buddy's elite.
Oh
That's
yeah.
his like elite skill. So I think that especially with Joel, like you cannot help off Buddy Hield.
Hmm.
So I love
Also,
it.
we're gonna talk about real quick Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry is a Sixer.
And so
Um,
it makes me feel a little bit better that they got rid of Pat Bev. Just saying.
yes, yes. Campaign's been playing all right. He's averaging like 12 points a game. I know he's getting a lot of minutes, but he's still playing.
He's
Uh,
okay.
he's okay.
He's savvy offense.
Better offensively than Pat Bev. I don't know
Yeah.
if he brings the energy still.
Yeah.
Ricky Council, he's an NBA
Dog.
player.
Dog.
Dog. He can literally get rotational minutes in the playoffs, like 5, 6 minutes. Like if you need to plug it, if someone's in foul trouble, you can plug him in for like 5 minutes and you're not gonna die out there.
Yes. I think that
Good,
he deserves minutes.
great foul baiter, like elite
Oh,
foul
yeah.
baiter.
He initiates contact really well
Yes.
and he can make free throws,
Hmm.
which that's a really big NBA skill to be able
Yeah.
to get fouled and also hit free throws. He's really good at going to the rim. The
Good
only thing is
finishing at the rim too.
he cannot shoot.
No, his
Um,
3 point shot looks. If you just gave him Terquavion Smith 3 point
I mean,
ability,
he'd be
oh
elite.
my gosh, he would get like seventh. He'd be like the second and third person off the bench.
Yeah,
Um,
he would be awesome.
but yeah, I think he's really shown something in the last few games. And I know Max, he said this in an interview. He was like, I went up to the locker room and I went to some of these guys like Turk and Ricky Council that don't get minutes. And they're like, this is your time to shine. Like,
Yeah,
obviously put the team first, but this is your time to show us like what you can do.
yeah.
Excuse me. So, um, yeah, I believe in Ricky Council. I think he'll next year is like going to be his breakout year.
Hopefully. I just think he needs to obviously to say the shooting will come. That's like
Yeah.
such a like
That's like such a
you
Ben
never
Simmons
know.
thing to
That's a
say.
huge if, especially as Sixers fans.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think that he just definitely deserves minutes. I mean, if Cove and Batum come back, it's going to be hard for him to get a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
But I think that he deserves at least 10 minutes a
Yeah.
game.
And I think you're going to see very quickly with Covington that he doesn't have anymore. Like, especially coming off this injury, he's been out for like
Dude,
over a
yeah.
month. I don't
He
think
was really good when he played,
he
though.
was for the first few games. He was like a good rotational piece. Then when
He
he
was
just
really good
and then he just fell out of the rotation. I think
because
Nurse,
Nick Nurse wanted to play Marcus Morris over
yeah,
him.
that was kind of
I
crazy.
hate Marcus Morris, man. I
Marcus
hate that
Morris
guy.
was such a weird player. Like, sometimes he'd have it going. Like his mid range is just pure. And then
Yeah,
some games they would just be back iron the entire game.
the
And it's
thing is,
like,
like, he isn't good enough to
no,
like deserve an ISO. like in isolation. Like when
Especially
they
like when you're calling for it like 5 seconds left and he's calling for it in the post and he's backing down his defender with 5 seconds left.
and Joel's like, and he's like, go over there,
Yeah,
and he's
give
like,
me the ball. And Marcus Morris is like, hey,
yeah,
give the ball to Joel.
does all the pump fakes and all that.
Yeah, pump fake and then he faces up and then it's just, oh, dude, it's a whole thing with him.
Yeah.
Um, so where do you think the Sixers go? We only have a couple minutes left in this recording, so we got to hurry this up a little bit. Um, where do you see the after? I know we asked this last episode. I'm going to ask this question every episode for like a
Yes.
weekly update. Where do the Sixers go from here, and where do you think they finish in the standings after that? You know, you've had a week since your last answer. I think you said sixth. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure. I'm not sure. We can go back and look. Where do you think they finish in the standings?
All right. Objectively, I I don't know, but it's hard for me to be objective right now. I'm gonna say sixth because
Sixth.
well, if they get everybody back, but they're gonna get leapfrogged probably by Indiana because they're
Mm-hmm.
definitely still gonna lose. But I just really don't want to see them in the play-in because
No, it's scary.
yeah, that would be tough because they could definitely lose. So I would like to see them at the six.
Okay. Um,
What about you?
if the season ended right now, that would match them up with, I believe, Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Yeah, which I love that matchup. I think we win
I
that
do
matchup.
too.
I love that matchup.
Doc.
Um, Doc, dude. Uh, yeah, I think we finished seventh. I think we play in the play in,
Yeah.
which if we did finish seventh and Indiana lapped us right now, we would be playing the eighth seed, which is the Magic, which I think we could take the Magic.
But
Um,
that's a
it's a
tough
tough
team to
matchup.
play
It's
in a
scary.
one.
It's
Yeah,
scary
especially in a
because
one
they could
game.
heat up. Suggs is pretty good. Ben Caro's
Montero's
solid.
an all-star, man. Franz is good. I mean, they got
Franz
their
is
tough
really good. They have good big depth with Mo Wagner and Goga Patazi too.
and
Um,
Wendell Carter Jr. Like
yeah,
they're just
like they
they're
have good
deep.
depth, but I like that matchup.
Yeah,
And then we would play the Cavs, which I also really like that matchup. It's scary
yeah,
because Donovan Mitchell could go off one game, but yeah, I do believe we finish seventh and play in that playing game.
yeah.
Those are our predictions of the Sixers so far. Every week we're gonna ask the same question, like where do we finish? And we're just gonna continue to update on the standings and everything like that. So I know last time we said we'd talk about the Phillies and we never got to that subject. Sorry about that, but today we will.
There we go.
Um, Spring training is beginning this week. The Phillies today is currently Saturday, February 17th, and the Phillies play their first game 1 week from today. Um, Pitchers and catchers have reported yesterday and the day before, and now the big leaguers, Kyle Schwarber, Nick Castellanos, and his son Liam, uh, Whit
Go.
Merrifield, Phillies' new signing, they're all reporting to camp. Uh, Pitchers have already been there, like I said. Nola, Wheeler, Ranger, and Walker, the starters, they've been throwing bullpen sessions as well as bullpen guys. So, Hoffman, Strom, Sir Anthony, Jose, they've been there for a few days now.
Kirkering.
Um, Kirkering has been there too. You're right. I missed him. I saw him pitch the other day. He
Come on,
looked good.
man. I got to keep you on your toes.
You know, got to keep me on my toes with my fills. Uh, But yeah, so first thing we're gonna discuss is yesterday. I wasn't really planning on discussing this today because I didn't think it happened. Phillies signed Whit Merrifield, super utility man, to a 1 year, $8 million deal with a club option. If anyone doesn't know what a club option is, it means the Phillies and their ownership can decide to give him another deal next year for 1 year, $7 million. So potential for 2 years, around 16 million. Whit Merrifield was a 2023 All-Star. He's basically a super utility man, which means uh he could play almost anywhere. Second base, left field, right field, short, third. Primarily he plays second and left. Um, but I mean, it's the Phillies. We might need him to play everywhere. Great depth. He hit 272 last year with I think 67. Yeah, 67 RBIs, 150 hits. Low strikeout guy, does not strike out a lot, and he's durable. He played in 145 games last year, which he won't play that much this year because he's a bench guy.
Yeah.
Probably play around 90 to 100, and I can see him getting a lot of time if uh Johan Rojas does not play well. He will move into left, Marshall move into center. So Peter, how do you feel? I don't know if you're a big Johan Rojas guy. Do you
Okay.
support Johan Rojas in center field? Do you want to give him a chance, or would you go Marsh in center and put now our new Whit Merrifield and left.
So I'm saying something like a huge baseball guy, but I do watch the Phillies.
Yeah,
I think Rojas is good. I mean, he was terrible in playoffs, but I think that I think he has a lot of potential, man. I mean, he got up to the big leagues, so he's a good player. I think
yeah,
he's a really good fielder. I just think he needs to get the bat together. I think he's a fantastic. I think he's a Gold Glove level
yeah,
center
100%.
fielder. I think that he's a great center fielder. But if he can't baseball, you got to be able to hit.
That's number one, especially in the playoffs too, when you
Yeah,
got like
he's like
situations.
literally an automatic out.
Exactly. And that's what people don't understand. Like, I know game 7 against the Diamondbacks, he came up with the bases loaded and 2 outs,
Yeah,
and he just struck out on 3 changeups in the dirt.
yeah,
You just can't do that stuff. I know he's young. He came straight up from AA too, like
yeah,
just
yeah,
bypass AAA, which is insane.
yeah.
Um, Let me look up. So Johan Rojas in 13 games in the playoffs last year hit 093 with 4 hits. Went 4 for
That's literally
13.
crazy.
Yeah, 4 for no,
For what, 32, you
4
said?
for 43 with 15 strikeouts. So,
Crazy.
um,
That's pretty bad. I mean, I'm
yeah.
not really too familiar with Merrifield, but I know the only thing is I did see on Twitter that people think that Thompson might end up playing him against righty pitchers.
hmm
So like for
Um,
Stott or something, which I would not be for because I feel like Stott should play no
Stott
matter what.
should play, but against right-handed pitchers in his entire career, he's hitting 282, which is really good against
Who,
right-handed pitching.
Merrifield?
Yeah. And
Okay.
against left-handed pitching, he's hitting 289. So, I mean, it's not really that big of a difference, but the thing is, I would play him. Now,
Do you
my
play him
ideal,
primarily in the outfield?
yeah, I would play him in, I would start him in left.
Okay.
Um, if I were the manager of this team, which I wish, because we would win the World Series every single year. Um, I would go basically the same lineup as the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
Schwarber 1, Turner 2, Harper 3, Casty 4 for the power. I would not put Bohm. Bohm was 4 last year. He was just brutal.
I
I'd
like Bowman
go,
at the six.
yeah. Casty 4, Stott 5. I'd go JT 6, Bohm 7, Marsh 8, Merrifield 9. That would be my lineup. You have
Yeah.
power throughout the lineup. You have great contact. I mean, the bottom of the lineup is Boehm, Marsh, Merrifield. I mean,
Yeah.
that's great contact all around. Good speed. Merrifield has led, excuse me, Merrifield led the American League in stolen bases in 2017, 2019, and 2021, I believe.
Mm.
So he's a quick guy. I mean, he's 35, so he's getting up there, but he's still uh great contact hitter, great
Yeah.
base runner. Like you're not going to see him run into outs like other guys will. And overall, I think he's a quality starter. If he's
That's
not
I
going
mean,
to
that's just
start,
another depth piece. Like they
exactly.
needed
We
somebody like
needed
that.
someone on the depth because we had Jake Cave, come on, as our number one pinch hitter, and Christian Pache, which I love Pache, but he's not like an everyday player. Now you have a quality pinch hitter that you could bring up in a spot and you can feel confident with him.
Yeah.
Um, In other news, Zach Wheeler is looking for a contract extension. His contract is up after this year. He signed a 4-year deal in 2020.
Give him as much money
Um,
as he wants.
Give him everything. I'd give him 40. He's probably gonna get 40 per year. I would
Give
give him
him as
40
much as
per
he
year.
wants.
Give him everything. Give him the team. Give him a car. Give him the team. Give him everything.
Give him some ownership
Yeah,
stake.
dude. Give him stock. Give him everything.
Why
Just
not?
amazing. I mean, he's been amazing in the playoffs for us. Outside of one game against the Astros and in the
Yeah.
World Series of the year, he's been amazing. Like absolute workhorse.
Oh
Doesn't
yeah.
miss a lot of time, and just he's like that guy that you just. He's the best postseason pitcher in baseball, in my personal opinion. The best postseason starting pitcher in baseball.
What do you think the rotation's gonna look like?
So I would trade Taiwan Walker, get off
I
that
know that's a
contract.
big guy because he's getting paid a lot of money, right? So I know a lot of
He's
people.
got 3 years, 50 some million, 60 million,
Yeah.
something like
Which I
that.
guess isn't a ton, but that's still a
No,
decent
but he's got three
exception.
years left in his deal. I would trade Taiwan and I would sign Jordan Montgomery, left-hander from the Texas Rangers. He's like 31,
Okay.
32. Pitched in the World Series last year. In the playoffs, he had like a low or a high 2, low 3 ERA. Perfect.
Hmm.
World Series champion, has experience. All-star. I would sign him and I would go the rotation as Wheeler, Nola, Montgomery, Ranger. And then if you want to put Sanchez in there, you can put Chris Sanchez. You can
I like Sanchez. I
we
like.
also signed Spencer Turnbull.
Okay, I did see that. Yeah.
He was pretty good a couple years ago. Had a UCL injury, got Tommy John, wasn't the same. He threw a no-hitter in like 2021,
Oh wow. Okay.
2022, I think. So I mean he was good. He just injuries have kind of plagued him a little
It
bit,
could
but
potentially be a player.
exactly. Our pitching staff is great. Caleb Cotham, our pitching coach, amazing. Like,
But I think I mean it's going to be tough because I personally see them keeping Ty. I mean I don't really
yeah.
see them trading him
I mean, listen,
because
if they keep Taiwan and we can sign Montgomery, I would do that too. I just want Jordan Montgomery on the team.
yeah. I mean I think that like Nola and Wheeler that's like such a good one too.
Mm-hmm.
How much did
Plus
they pay Nola?
two something, 270 something. Let me see. I know they gave him. I mean, they had to give him a lot because the Braves were in contention with him.
Yeah,
Oh, not 270, 172. 7 years, 172.
7 years, Jesus.
So he's getting 24 per year.
I personally am not a huge fan of Nola,
No,
but I know that he's
especially like in the playoffs, he's a little shaky, but he's just that guy. Like he he is what Joel Embiid is to the Sixers in the sense of um longevity. Like not same level of elite production at all. Like Joel Embiid is
yeah,
10 times the player Aaron Nola is, but in the sense of he's been here for a while. He was here for the bad years. Aaron Nola was here
yeah,
in 2014, 2015 when
yeah.
we had 100 losses. Same with Embiid. Embiid was here when we had 70 stars. What were we? 12 and 70 or
Something
something
like
like
10
that.
to 72.
Yeah, 10 and 72. So both players were here during the struggles and they both led their teams to the playoffs. So you kind of had to keep him. You didn't want him to see him go to Atlanta. For all we
Yeah,
know, he'd go to Atlanta and become like a Cy Young pitcher. Like that's the
yeah,
one thing you didn't want. Um, but yeah, so expectations for this year, I fully expect this team to be back in the World Series. They have the
yeah,
talent, they have the pitching, they have the bats. I mean, they're the best, in my opinion, the best lineup in the MLB outside of the Dodgers. But the Dodgers are like the Cowboys and the Sixers that they just
yeah,
choke every year. They'll never really get it done. The only championship they have is in a 60-year COVID year.
yeah.
Um,
They're like the Lakers.
exactly. They're like the Lakers and Lakers, Cowboys, Sixers, Dodgers. That's where I'd put them. Um, yeah, I think they win it all. I think they beat the Orioles. I think the Orioles make it too. I think it's
Yeah,
Phillies,
because I know the
Orioles.
Orioles are supposed to be really good this year, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
they
think
were
it's
really good. I mean, they were
Phillies.
really good last year.
Yeah, just they weren't experienced in the playoffs. They didn't have a ton, and they were the one seed, and they lost to the Rangers in three. They got swept.
I mean,
So
at least they're the champ. I mean, they lost the champion.
exactly.
So.
But I think they come back. They got Jackson Holiday. He's the number one prospect in baseball. Remember Matt Holiday?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's his son. So
What? That's
yeah,
crazy.
he's like 20, 21 years old. He's a stud.
I remember
Shortstop.
playing with Matt Holiday in like MLB 2K.
Yeah. Um, so their lineup's gonna be nasty. They have Adley Rutschman, their catcher. They have
Yeah, I know he's really good, right?
Gunnar
Yeah,
Henderson. He was a rookie
yeah.
last year. Jackson Holiday's coming up. Uh, I
You
want to
think the
say
D-backs will get back?
no. D-backs, my opinion, D-backs going 79, 83. That's my prediction. I've
Really?
I've said this plenty of times. That was the flukiest year I've ever seen. They're not a good team. They don't have good pitching. Corbin Kittle's a stud, amazing. Ketel Marte's stud, amazing. Outside of that, they suck. Like it
They
took
did beat us.
it took Craig Kimbrell blowing 2 games for that. We should have swept that team. We should have swept that team. We lost, I think it was 3-2 in extras in game three, and then we lost 6-5. So those, I mean, you win those 2 games, you put them away, you put the foot on their neck, and you win 4-0. We should have won 4-0, if not 4-1.
Yeah,
Um, that is, I don't know, what's your worst loss in Philly sports history? Is it the Kawhi shot?
probably, man. I don't know. Or when they blew that lead against the Hawks.
Yeah,
Oh,
game
I mean,
four.
or you could say like when the ball went through Alshon Jeffrey's
Yeah, the
hands.
divisional round. That's a big one too.
Um, I mean, the Eagles Super Bowl loss, I get. Like, there's so many, but for me, I mean, I'm a huge Sixers fan, so I
Yeah,
would probably say the Kawhi shot or them blowing that lead to the Hawks. That might be
yeah.
my
25
loss.
point lead in the end of the third with 3 minutes left in the third. That was Seth Curry legacy game. He had 36 that game too. Um,
I can't even think about that.
that and then that's how I feel. That is how I feel about the game four, the Diamondbacks.
Yeah,
That is my worst loss I've ever seen of any team ever. Uh, because we were up 5-1, 4-1, I think it was 4-1 and then 5-2.
Yeah, yeah, I think it was 5-2. Yeah, I remember it being
5-2 in the eighth inning, and we
Yeah.
lost that game
Oh
to the
God.
Diamondbacks. That's I will never, and that's the series loss in general. That is one loss I will never get over. Even when I'm 80 years old, 90, whatever, on my deathbed,
They
I
should have won
will.
the World Series, man.
Yes, we should have at least been in the World Series, which most people are like, oh, I don't want to get there and lose. I know they're just losing the first round or not even make it. I'm completely fine with going to the World Series and losing.
That's
If
so
I see my
stupid. Why
team in the
would
World,
anybody say that? That's
if I
crazy.
see my team in the World Series, that is a win enough for me. I'm like, I
Yeah.
would be ecstatic. Um, but yeah, that is the worst series loss in my entire life, and I'll never get over that. I still sometimes like it sounds so dumb. For if you don't watch sports, it sounds so dumb. But I'll lay in bed at like 2 o'clock in the morning and just think of that, like Game 4, like Kimbrel giving up the home run.
It really does sound so stupid,
It
but it's
sounds
so
so
true.
stupid. Like, dude, these guys don't even know you. Why are you thinking about them at 2 o'clock in the morning? I'll just sit and stare at my ceiling and be like, damn, like I think this, like, damn, we've really just lost to the
Only if
Diamondbacks.
Kimbrel didn't choke, man.
Yeah, I don't understand why. I don't understand how. That's a topic for another time because we're running out of time here. But yeah, I fully expect them to get back to the World Series. What would you? I know you're not a huge baseball guy. I'm gonna get you into this year. We're gonna go to some
All right.
games. I'm gonna get you into it. Like you're into
I
the
will be.
Sixers.
Yes, sir.
Um, what would be from a non-huge baseball guy perspective? What would be a good spot for this team to be in? Like, do you
I
think?
think they should win 100 games. Their team is so
I
good.
know they
They
should,
if
but
they don't win 100 games, like
that we always start out slow. That's the thing with the Phillies every year. And that's the
yeah,
thing they've been emphasizing this
yeah.
year. They don't want to start out slow. So do you
Like what did
think
they win? How many games did they win last year?
89, 89, 80,
Yeah, that feels like nothing
87? No,
for
80.
how good they were,
I think
man.
it
I
was
mean,
87,
they
87 or
won
89.
90.
Oh, they
90.
won 90. They did go 97 too. The
Yeah.
year before, the wild card, I remember because we were playing the Cardinals.
Yeah, they won
2022,
87,
we won 87.
2022.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think they should. I really think they should win 100 games. Their team
I
is way
wonder.
too good to
Let me
not.
look up what the we can do this right now. We can go over under team wins for Phillies. What would it be 2024 season? So right now, the over under on FanDuel is 89.5 at
Yeah,
minus 110. I think that I'd hit the over on that. That's a good spot. I think we finished with 91, 92.
yeah.
I wonder what last year's was. Last year's was 90.5. So it's dropped down one. 2022 was I don't know. 82.5. So
Okay.
big increase, but I think I'd go over on 89.5. I think they get at least 90 this year. What do you
I
think?
I think over. Their team is so good. I know they get in these ruts where like they
Everyone,
lose
it's
lose
and
multiple
I
games
talk
in a
about this with
row.
my grandpa all the time. It's
Yeah,
everyone is hitting or no one is hitting. It's one or the
exactly.
other.
All the momentum. I mean,
Yeah.
I think they should win 100 games this year.
All right. Well, I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm gonna play this clip in our
All right,
50th or 60th podcast
sir.
when we're 40 and 20, 60 games
Yeah.
in the year, and be like, you called this, they're gonna win 100 games.
Well, I mean, it's not. I don't know if that's a bold prediction. I'm
I think
not
it's
gonna
a
lie.
winning 100 games is a bold prediction. I think
All right,
for this Phillies team, their over under is
all right,
90. Yeah, I'm gonna
all right.
go. I'm gonna go 92, 93 wins. I'll go 93 wins.
Yeah.
That's what I'll go. 93.
All right.
All right. Thanks for watching, everyone. We appreciate all the viewers. Our last episode and this episode. Like I said before, Saturdays around 5, 6 Eastern when the videos are gonna be dropping. Expect them every week. We will let you know if we're not dropping one for that week. Yeah, and like I said, the format's gonna be simple. Just talking about sports, and sometimes we'll include other topics, but we're just trying to go with the flow right now and kind of just keep a steady, Philly, Sixers, NFL, all that stuff. Peter, any closing remarks for our viewers?
Watch Tyrese Maxey in the All Star game and
Watch,
the skills challenge.
yep, watch Tyrese Maxey. Everyone go vote for him for MVP too.
Yes,
So,
sir.
thanks for watching, everyone. We'll catch you next time on the Philly Dogs podcast.